Yeah, not bad, thanks. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. So we've got Emily here, and she's kindly come on to the first podcast, which is very exciting. No doubt there'll be some hiccups along the way. So Emily, you are an online fitness coach, you're a PT, but you're also a physique competitor. So if you could just tell us a little bit about you, about your background, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. So I guess I came into the fitness industry as like a gym before. So I got qualified as a PT and then immediately started at a pure gym. Did my kind of 2 years there, building up business for myself, building up clients, through classes and to be honest, mainly through Instagram. Like the longer I spent PTing, the more I realized that social media was a much easier way to get clients. Like even if, say, for example, a client had seen you like in a class, they're like 10 times more likely to approach you via Instagram because they'd
Yeah.
like to go away and see what you're like on social media, see how your training is, etc. So yeah, I just kind of naturally transitioned from PTing on the gym floor to online. Just people started, even in the gym I was working at, like people wanted to just do online with me at some point. So I kind of had people that were in person that gradually came to online, and then gradually it was like, oh, we're not just in the UK anymore. We've got clients in America and things like this. And all alongside that, I was kind of being exposed to bodybuilding through other PTs in that gym. And then I met my current coach at a different gym I trained at, and basically just went to watch her compete. And from there, I was like, this looks cool. I want to give this a go. So it kind of all just tied together, really. And so, yeah, that's how I've ended up kind of being an online coach slash bikini competitor.
So you started off in a pure gym and then you migrated, as most coaches are doing these days, to online fitness. Was that pre-COVID? Was that during COVID? Because I know that's a time when a lot of coaches decided, okay, I need to make money. I can't do it in a gym. Let's do it online.
That was pre-COVID for me, luckily. Like COVID didn't affect my business at all. I'd already decided, like the way that social media was going and the way that the lifestyle of being an actual gym floor PT is not very glamorous. And I was, I'd had enough basically. I felt like I'd sort of done my time. I
Hmm.
mean, we had a very good manager who employed me at Pure Gym. And I always remember a meeting that we had where he said, none of you should be here in 2 years' time. This is where you start off as a PT. This isn't where you end up. And I remember really thinking to myself, yeah, I want to make sure I'm one of the people that doesn't stay here. Not that
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with it if that lifestyle works for you. Like there's some people that I worked with that are still there now and they just they're happy they like that security of, like regular clients at Pure Gym, and that's absolutely fine. But for me, it was more the early starts and things, and having to get up and kind of have 6 a.m. clients for a few hours and then have a break, have a nap, especially when I was on prep. I think my last prep is what heightened it for me in terms of I actually because prep's so hard and then you're having to get up at silly o'clock to train clients. The best thing that you can do on a prep is like not be having to be up early when you've got like meals spread across the day and stuff. But I couldn't
Yeah.
go and train clients on no calories. I had to eat first, and it just all got too much. And I think the last prep heightened for me what the difficulties of being at like a gym floor PT. So
Hmm.
yeah, I made the move, and then it was like I stopped PTing in person September 2019. So it was a good 6 months before COVID hit.
Hmm.
So I was safe.
Yeah, I don't know what you found, but especially on social media, I get messages every single day of young people that, not young people, but anybody that's looking to get into the industry, and they're like, oh, how do I become a PT? What's the best courses? What's this? What's that? And the first thing I think is, why do you want to get into the fitness industry? Because it is not what people think. It's not
Yeah,
making thousands of pounds a day. It's not training elite athletes every day. It's not, working whatever hours you want. Like you said, it's a fucking hard slog, and it's not
yeah,
glamorous. It is not
no,
fun. It is fucking difficult at times.
yeah. Actual gym floor PT is definitely not glamorous, but I think it was definitely a good start out point. It was a good place to increase my confidence. It was also, I think, it's good if you have done in person PT, then you can really be a good online coach because you've really been able to see a range of different physiques, a range of different ages, and kind of different disabilities and all sorts, and injuries, illnesses, and you've built up a profile of clients that you've actually seen them in the flesh, and you know how to look at someone's just like a basic squat, for example, and assess that. And it just makes everything online so much easier, because I'm not guessing anything. I know because I've had that experience of working with people. So it's definitely a good starting point, but I think what people need to know is it is a starting point, and it's a slog as well. You're working really damn hard, and in the beginning you're taking on clients that you wouldn't generally particularly want to work with, until you can kind of find your niche, and you kind of, unless you're just blessed and you're into an amazing gym and all these amazing, like you said, athletes or something are coming to you to help, you are going to end up training people that they're not your ideal client, but you kind of just need it in the beginning.
Definitely. And a lot of people go in this preconception that they're going to be coaching just 18 to 25-year-old females wearing Gymshark, and it's just not the case. Like, you are going to have to suck it up for a few years maybe, where you're not coaching your ideal client, because until you can prove
in the gym floor as well.
Well, I came in, so I've been a PT for 10 years, but I actually didn't really practice as a PT until 4 years ago. And it was at that point I was a full-time paramedic, and I'd already done everything that I wanted to do as a paramedic. So there was nowhere else I wanted to go, and the job was becoming a little bit mundane for me. So I decided to start using my PT and creating Apex Fitness coaching. So I started off by, I'd always said, I don't want to work in a gym because they take your money, you're paying rent, and what are you like? Yes, you're getting great experience, but the time you put in, a percentage of that is being taken away by your employer. So I put my initial capital into my garage, and I just created my, look at the shreds.
I'm boiling now. Talking.
I feel like I need to go do some push-ups or something.
I have just done a push session, so.
Beast. We are going to come on to that in a minute. I made my own private studio, as it were, and I started off.
That's cool.
So I started off doing the slog on social media, getting people to come to me, and it was the best thing I could ever done, because 100% of the money that I got was mine. And I was lucky that I was in a position where I could put that initial money into that facility, studio, garage. And that just, it just progressed from there. And eventually I decided, what, do I want to be in a garage in the middle of winter, sat there freezing my ass off? And I was like, well, no, because I can now, I've gone to fully online, I can be on a beach and do my client updates, I can do whatever the fuck I want, I can be wherever I want, and free up my time to do so. Like you say, for prep, I'm on prep, and if I was working full time, I wouldn't be able to do it.
I don't know how people do it with full-time jobs. I really don't. Hats off to them.
What was the biggest difficulties for you when you started as a PT?
Probably like just my own confidence, really, and as a naturally shy person coming into a gym, a busy gym, and having to do classes and stuff, that was scary, because that's the deal at Pure Gym. So you were saying about paying rent, but the good thing about Pure Gym was actually you are self-employed, so you don't pay anything to the gym. And that's the only reason I actually went to the Pure Gym. I was like, actually, no, that makes sense. So while you're starting out, I think it's changed the model slightly now, but when I started, it was you do 15 hours a week for them in exchange for not paying any rent. And those 15 hours were put into classes, cleaning the gym floor, and obviously you could use that time to go around and talk to people. But that's what I found difficult. People kept saying, like, you need to go up to people. I was like, I don't, the thought of interrupting someone's workout to me is sickening. I just don't, I'm not that type of person. I'm not a salesy person at all. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the more I got into it, obviously I got good at the classes, people started coming and enjoying my classes. And then obviously from there, it was more, like I say, the Instagram and things like that for me that got me the clients in the end, because yes, it was great having the classes to put my face in front of people, but they would then look at my Instagram profile and see what I was posting to then ask me about PT. So
Yeah.
but yeah, actually as a gym floor PT, that was probably the hardest thing I found is, people that do well on the gym floor, you've got to be confident. You've got to be okay with selling yourself. You've got to be okay walking up to people and mentioning PT. And for me, that was just an absolute, I never got into it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I said, I use social media instead. For me, I just, if people want a PT, they'll find a way to ask you. I don't want to force it on anyone.
It's a little bit of a it's a non-hostile environment as well, isn't it, when you're on social media? People 9 times out of 10 come to find you. They're starting the conversation. They want to talk about it because of what they see.
Yeah.
What kind of image did you want to portray on your social media? Because I mean, I've always gone in with the abrasive approach. I do not make everyone happy with my content, but that's kind of my personality, and that's what I wanted to go over. So what kind of image did you always want to portray on your social media?
It's hard because I guess I just literally I post how I'm feeling. I don't really pre-plan my post. It's just kind of like, today I thought of this, so I'll post this. And then I suppose the image I seem to portray is that I obviously, people seem to think I train really hard, which I do. So I tend to post quite a lot of videos of me working out. Oh, the thing just fell out. But yeah, I mean, I've been told that can be off-putting to some people, but then it's like, well, no, because the type of clients I'm attracting are the people I want to work with who work hard as well. So it's like, I just keep portraying that. I think in terms of anything that I try and do, it's just try and be a bit more relatable as well. Like, try and, show people that you will have bad days. I'm not this like super optimistic person that's happy all the time. Like, I will show when I'm not happy. I'll just kind of be honest about the graft it takes as well. Like, people, like even if it comes to like uncomfortable stuff, like posting how I used to look, it's like, I wouldn't have this physique if I hadn't worked hard for it. So people just think it's a quick fix or something as well. You get a PT and you're going to look great in 6 months. It's like quite a long journey, actually. But you need to love yourself along the way of the journey. You need to like your body at all stages, and that's not necessarily going to be about how your body actually looks. It's going to be about how you're feeling within yourself. So I kind of probably do try and portray a lot of mental fortitude, if that makes sense, like self-love, rather than it's all about the aesthetics, which can get lost if you're kind of like in the bodybuilding world. I guess people assume that I train to look good, or like, to have an aesthetic physique, and it's really not about that for me at all. It's just a byproduct.
Have you ever felt any pressure to portray a different image? Because there's so much, especially with social media, you get TikTok, Facebook, not so much Facebook anymore, but like, Instagram, Snapchat, there's that many social media fitness professionals out there, and it's so easy to just post a quick video, do this quick fix, take this product, and that's the sexy side. When people see, take this one pill and you are going to get shredded, that's sexy. You'll buy into that. But when you see people like yourself and myself going, this is fucking hard. This is months of work, not weeks of work. It's not always the easiest sell to people. So have you ever felt like this is going to be a difficult time to portray?
Yeah, I suppose so. I think some of the females in the fitness industry that have a large social media following, like, the 500,000 types and stuff, and you see what they're posting, and it's a lot of kind of like, look at my stretch marks and things like this. And sometimes I felt like, oh, maybe I should post a picture of mine, because we all have them, for Christ's sake. People literally pull them apart to get a picture and stuff. We all have stretch marks somewhere. Like, we can all take a picture of our stretch marks if we want to, but I've sort of felt pressured sometimes, like, oh, well, these women are really relating to people, that they're really showing, like, oh, they'll sit down and do the belly rolls and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I felt like maybe I should do a post like that, but then it's not. I'd only post something if I felt like it was helping someone. And for me to try and pull my stretch marks are so minimal, so for me to try and pull them out, I just feel really condescending. And I don't have cellulite either, so I can't relate to that. I've never had cellulite, lucky for me. But so for me to try and kind of do one of those type of posts would just be unauthentic. And I mean, I've done a belly roll post recently because I actually genuinely felt like I literally have belly rolls right now. Like, funnily enough, your skin folds over, and we all need to stop obsessing over our bellies. But like, yeah, so I'll do post if I actually feel like this is how I actually am thinking. I'm not posting this to try and get likes or to try and do this whole like women support women thing, or that kind of, there's all this, that kind of vibe going on social media at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's not really me, you know. I tend to follow a lot of males and I tend to have a lot more masculine energy. And so like I don't tend to be in that world of following other females and kind of seeing what they're doing. But from the odd few females that I do follow that have a large following, that's what they're posting and that's what they're getting liked for. And it's like, I'm not going to do that because it's just not.
And I don't know about you, but I don't really follow that many people in the fitness industry just because there's so many, you know, I will follow a very select group of individuals. You know, so I follow people like Renaissance Periodization, like Dr. Mike Isratali. I don't know if you follow him. Revive Stronger.
Yeah, I don't follow him, but I know him.
I know you follow Josh Bridgman, guys like. Yeah, I mean, these are all kind of real people, and they'll tell you the ins and outs. Yes, they're great to look at, and you know they're impressive, but they're also quite open and honest about the process, and it's not all sexy.
Yeah, literally. I think Josh Bridgman, that's my ideal type of person that I follow. Like I follow like mostly male bodybuilders, to be honest. I just get that the mentality more in a really odd way. And obviously the way they train is a little bit more exciting because you can get massive. As a female, you can't really get massive, let's be honest, not without help.
So Mexican
I don't know,
supplements.
For my personality, I find it more interesting. So I don't tend to follow I just don't tend to follow a lot of female, like I don't follow any fitfluencers really or anything like this. It doesn't interest me, so I simply don't follow it.
So you said the difference between male and female. What do you think is wrong with female fitness at the minute? So what are things out there that do you think, you know, I really wish that wasn't such a big thing in the female fitness industry. I wish females would look more towards this direction.
I think probably one of the biggest things would be women thinking that training makes you bulky. I think that still needs to die a death. I wish it did make you bulky. I've been training for many years and I don't look bulky at all. I still look tiny. So, you know, I wish it did. But yeah, I guess just that and females being afraid to kind of be in the weight section still. And there's this whole thing at the moment about like the intimidation by males, and that's not just in the gym, that's in general. Like if you're going into the gym with a small crop top on, and I have to think my outfits through, you know, I have to be like, it can't be a crop top and a pair of short shorts because that looks like I'm trying to attract male attention. You know, it's like we always have to think what we're doing, and I think that's just something that's going to take some time to change anyway. It's kind of out of our control. I think when there's that whole blast in the media recently when that girl got murdered and it all went a bit crazy with social media and women feeling intimidated by men, I think maybe like 5% of men understood what we were on about, and the rest were just like, oh, I'm not like that, why are you making it all into a thing about all men? And it was like, oh, like we're not there yet, we're not ready to talk about this. So yeah, I think women aren't going to not feel intimidated in the gym until men stop staring at us and perving on us and making us feel uncomfortable. So
do you feel
uncomfortable? That's not all men, by the way, but it's just every time you go into the gym there will be at least one man doing it, so therefore it's like, well, every time I go to the gym I have to think this through. And it's you know,
and it's good to hear from
99% of men won't do that, but there's always going to be 1% that does do that. So unfortunately, letting the side down. And
and I, you know, it's nice to hear your point of view on it, because you know you're quite a dominant figure in a gym. You know, you're going to go in and you're going to be training hard, and you look impressive in terms of physique, and you know it's nice to hear that, you know, you still feel that way, because someone would look at you and probably say, oh, what she got to be worried about in a gym? You know, you belong in a gym.
It's like I don't feel intimidated as such, but I do, like I said, I think through my outfit choice, because if I don't, I know I'm going to get stared at, and I don't want to be stared at. I want to be left alone. So it's just annoying.
And I always, whenever I speak to my online clients and they say, oh, I'm really worried about going into this particular bit of the gym, you know, I'll understand that, you know, you're going to get men staring at you, but it's also a two-way thing. You know, women are going to stare at men, You know, if there's a guy in, you know, and it's probably slightly different because you would have a guy that's jacked, he would probably enjoy being watched, whereas it
Yeah.
might be slightly different for a woman. But at the same time, women look at men, women will ogle men. You know, we're all human at the end of the day. I'm sure you've ogled over people in the gym before. No, never, never. And but not only that, I think sometimes it can be hyped up. You know, if you go into a gym, I mean, I know for me, I'll, you know, you'll look, but I'm there to train. So
Yeah.
it's not like, you know, it'll be a quick glance and then I'm back to my fucking set because
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I'm
true.
there for. So I try and let them know that, yeah, it's you, it might happen and it's shit when it does because it's going to put you off, but it might not be happening as much as you think. I don't know what you think to that.
Yeah, that's probably a good point, really. A lot of it is mentality thing, which is, you know, like I said, it doesn't particularly intimidate me anymore as such. I might think my outfit choice through, but
Oh, you're just breaking up a little bit then.
there's a lot of women who do and think they're going to. I say, like, I think a lot of women probably do go in the gym and they think they're literally going to get stared at by everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas it's probably not going to be, like you said, half as bad as you think. Like you said, a quick glance, and at the end of the day, maybe just, unless he's literally catcalling you or trying to call you over, like just take it as a compliment and crack on with your session, because maybe you look good, and maybe the gym's quite a predatory environment. You know, we're all full of hormones and we're all working out, so maybe we could all just relax about it a little bit.
Yeah. And whenever I've managed
so
to get my clients to get in there and actually, you know, crack on with a workout, I can guarantee there's never been a female client that I've had that has had a truly negative experience in the gym. They've only ever got positives from it. They felt empowered, they felt confident, they felt like they've bossed it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes you just have to put your music in and drown things out if you're feeling a bit nervous, and just focus on yourself and not worry about what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. So talking about focusing on yourself, you are quite obviously very deep into prep. You have got a show on Sunday. Where are you competing?
Liverpool. Woo!
Liverpool. And what federation is it?
It's FitX. So it's a new federation for 2021.
Yeah.
Brand new federation. I just thought I'd give it a go. I liked their vibe. And yeah, they've done 2 to 3 shows now. This will be maybe the 3rd or 4th show. So I went to see one of the shows they did in Leeds back in May, and it was very well run, very well organised. They've got some like good other brands on board and like other athletes and things like this. Like they've got Emma Hyman there. They've got like compacts coming for the day as well on Sunday to sell products and things. So that they've got a lot of good backing, and yeah, I think it'll be good. And I'm competing Sunday after, so the 11th of July, in a PCA show as well, doing the Saxon Classic, which is the original PCA. Like the first ever show they did was Saxon, so I'd give PCA a whirl as well.
So what's made you go into the insane world of eating next to nothing, doing hours of cardio, making yourself feel shit? Because let's face it, prep is not glamorous. Stepping on stage and having the amazing photos when you're all mahogany, amazing, but the run up and the work is horrendous. So what made you want to go through all that twice?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose like literally when I joined the gym when I was 16, I always thought like I want to look like I go to the gym. Like, I always was interested in the aesthetic side of training. I've never really been interested in any other side of it. So yeah, and then just as I got older and got more aware of how to train myself and, you know, training different body parts and things like that, kind of got myself into the right circles and things at uni. And yeah, just then I knew what I was doing and I could actually build muscle. And as I've got older, just I have a fascination with it, like the things that the human body can do, the way you can make it look, the way all the process of a prep fascinates me. Like I love hearing about other people's preps, and you know, just like how a small drop in food or a small increase in cardio can make such a big difference. Like, I just personally find it fascinating. So then for me to be able to take myself through a prep, I can really firsthand see how it works as well, rather than just hearing other people's stories about it.
Mm.
And as well, like, I think if you are interested in aesthetics and bodybuilding, like you actually enjoy going to the gym to build muscle, it's nice to be able to shred down and see it. I think a goal when you're shredding or dieting, it's so easy to fall off the wagon. Like people say, how do you stay disciplined? And it's like, I have a show to work for. That's how I've got a date in mind. I'm really looking forward to the show. And basically because of last time when I competed, I really enjoyed show day, funnily enough. Like I think you either like getting on stage or you don't. So the first time you get on stage, you can dip your toe in the water and see if it's for you. And for me, I was like, it was honestly one of the best days of my life. I had so much fun. So I was like, I definitely want to do this again. Like, and you know, I just want to get shredded. But like I said, it's if you don't have a purpose there, you're never really going to get that shredded. You're never really going to see how much muscle you built or how hard you've worked. I personally wouldn't anyway. I wouldn't like. But when you said about it being difficult and stuff, it's only really the dog end of prep that's difficult. I feel like if you get the right coach and you do the process properly and stuff, like it shouldn't be that hard. People go on about how hard it is, and I'm like, yeah, in the final few weeks, yes. In the weeks leading up to it, you're just dieting. It's nothing glamorous. It's nothing special about a prep, apart from the fact that you have no flexibility, I would say. So with a normal diet, obviously you might have like an off-plan meal or something, but when you really enter a prep, it's like, no, now this is it. Apart from you, I saw that you, maybe it's different for males, but you managed to get away with having it was a planned cheat weekend though, wasn't it?
Oh,
so you're 10 weeks out and you've had a planned, you it literally incorporated it into your prep. It wasn't just like, oh, I'll just book it and go out for a meal kind of, or drinks the lads. It was like planned.
Yeah, so I all along, so I've over the last 4 years, I've done the typical, oh, I'm going to cut down, I want to get shredded, and I've done it for probably 6 weeks, got some results, but then it's never been anything significant. I was in the same position as you in March last year when COVID happened, that I had actually started my prep then, but COVID happened, everything got fucked over. So I kind of just said, right, I'm just going to get as big as I can. And then January, I'm going to do a long, gradual competition prep because I don't want to, I want to have enough time to do it, but enough flexibility that I can have some planned time where, I knew I was moving house. I knew I had stag do's. I knew I had, multiple occasions this year. So it was all about having that flexibility. And yeah, this weekend was a stag do in Cardiff, and I had all the best intentions of not going crazy, but yeah, it went a little bit crazy.
You don't. It's not about your intentions anymore.
Yeah, I mean, 4.5 kilos I think I gained in the week, in the 2 days. But I knew I'd got far enough in, and then I knew I was going to gain about that, and I know I've got enough time to get to the goal weight. So this is the digging phase for me. I've got 10 weeks of it's going to be tough, but that's what the plan was, and my choice when I decided to compete, it wasn't, I'm never going to be a professional bodybuilder. This was for me, so I wanted to make sure I enjoyed the process.
Absolutely.
So what have been some of the challenges for you then? So this is the second prep that you've done, and I mean, the fucking progress that you've had is leaps and bounds, from the last show that you did. So what have been some of the challenges, some of the changes? What have you done different this time?
Differently this time was having my last coach was horrendous, put it in one word. Safe to say she never coached anyone after me. Like some people, if we're talking about what's wrong with the fitness industry, there are a lot of people that will try and prep women and maybe they're stepped on stage once or twice themselves, and that simply does not qualify them to prep someone. So I fell into the unfortunate trap of getting a really bad coach. And yeah, honestly, like when I started my prep last time, I was only a couple of kilos heavier than I am now. So I was really lean. And she had me on a 20-week prep, which again was simply unnecessary. And from about 14 weeks out, I was quite lean. And you just don't need to be lean for that long. Like you really, really don't. And there's probably a misconception there as well. Like people thinking because you're on prep, you're lean. It's no, Most of my prep this time, I haven't been lean, and it's been great. I'd say the difference is like to move away from negativity, just go straight back into the positives of this prep. I got fat. Like I put on a good amount of weight in my off season, and like as I went into my prep like nice and chunky, like uncomfortably so almost, like, but it was worth it because like you were saying earlier about starting in January, I started early. I've allowed myself a full 24 weeks to just dial it in slowly, slowly, slowly. So like, you know, my mental health wasn't affected. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel the effects of being lean, which I'm feeling now. But it's been great from that aspect, and having a coach who, she picked me up when I was 3 weeks out last time, basically, because we were just friends that had met in the gym, and she was always kind of saying, let me help you, let me help you. And she probably did help me quite a lot in my last prep, just mentally getting me through it, because it was diabolical. It was really torturous, about feeling like how I feel now, but for so many weeks. So from 3 weeks out, she picked me up last time, and then, you know, she's got such a passion for the sport herself. She's really in it. She's competing herself. You know, she wants to be a pro. Like, so having someone who really understands bodybuilding as well, and making sure that my posing's on point and things like this, and, you know, sorting me out, making sure I go for the right shows. She knows the federation. She knows what my physique suits. So it's kind of just this time around, everything's been a lot more correct, how a prep should be. So yeah, so I've not spent a long time being lean, which is, quite frankly, feels awful.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't want to be this lean, so you're not gonna feel absolutely exhausted, but mentally it's gonna mess with you a little bit as well. You're gonna feel a bit down sometimes, and that's not nice. Kind of not being in control of the brain. I hate that when you just have a down day and you're like, I know it's because I'm on low carbs. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
So I felt like that for weeks last time. It really drove me into a bit of a hole, to be honest. So yeah, I would say that was probably one of the biggest difficulties, was just making the wrong choice. And all I would say to people is be really, really careful when you're looking for a coach. Ask around. If they're going on about the fact that they can prep someone, make them prove it. And then, like, don't ask them, but look, see what clients have actually taken to stage, because you'll see a lot of these gym coaches saying that they can prep you. Where's their prep clients? Who have they taken to stage before? Do they actually know what they're doing? You know what I mean? So really be careful when you're looking for a coach, and make sure that they have had experience with coaching other athletes and success with coaching other athletes as well. Because I would hate anyone to fall into that trap that I was in. I met someone recently that I knew from the gym I worked in, and she fell into the same trap recently. She just was some guy from her local gym prepping her. They had no idea what he was doing. She was having such a bad time, and I just got her on board with my team, like with my coach, and she's so much happier now. I just said, you're not going through what I'm going through. And she was so scared to change coaches because she was 2 weeks out. And I just said, just honestly, just trust me, because 2 weeks, a lot can change in 2 weeks, and it has. So she's competing with me on Sunday, actually.
And there's so much. I mean, especially with social media, you know, you get so many people saying that they're prep coaches, or saying that they are, you know, but I mean, you said, you know, get them to prove what they've taken to stage, but you've also got the coaches that have taken a lot of people to stage and got them into phenomenal shape. But how did they get them there? You know, did they get them on gear day one? Did they have them doing, 4 hours of cardio every day and eating like 800 calories for 20 odd weeks? You know, you can get the end result, but how are they health wise at the end of it? You know,
that's true. So you need to really speak to their clients as well. You need, like, do some proper research and really follow them for a long time. Get to know their mentality. Like, do they have a YouTube channel? Do they speak a lot via video on Instagram? Or get to know their personality, get to know, follow their clients, see what their clients are eating. Like, there's a lot of coaches out there that make their clients eat egg whites and all that kind of really strict bodybuilder type diet, and I'm not like that at all. Like, I won't eat egg whites for anyone. So if you're going to pick a coach, then you're going to end up having egg white omelets. I hate eggs. So if you're going to end up with a coach who's got that type of bodybuilder diet, like, that might be fine for you, but like, for me, let's say not. So you've got to, like, look up, do their, like, training methodologies, like you said, how they put them through it. They start them on gear, how much cardio are they on, all this kind of stuff you need to be having a proper conversation. And there's nothing wrong as well with having consultations with coaches and not going through with it. Like if you had a consultation and you ask them loads of questions, which you should be doing, about how they actually do a prep, and you just don't like the sound of it, then just be honest as well. Like, I don't know about you, but if you've had a conversation with someone and you never hear back from them again, it's a bit like, I assume you weren't interested, but a follow-up message for my time thanking me and, would have been nice kind of thing. Nothing wrong with having a conversation with a coach and then just saying, thank you so much for your time, but I think I'm going to go elsewhere. And then just keep looking until you find someone who really is going to suit your needs and your personality as well.
Yeah, and I'm very open with people that there's not one coach for everyone. Like, I am not the best coach for this person. You might not be the best coach for that person. You have to find the coach that's right for you, because we've all got different personalities, we've all got different needs. I mean, if someone's needs are their kind of coach, I am not that fucking person. But if they're like, come on, you are fucking up now, but how can we fix this?
Yes.
Then let's fucking do it. I always start off with clients like, if you don't like the word cunt, we might as well just leave it there now, because there will be a lot of cunting thrown around.
Yeah, definitely personality's got to match. I love it when you have a consultation with a new client and you can just tell that you're going to get on, and it's going to make your life easier as well. But yeah, like if you're not feeling like you're talking to a coach and you're like, I don't feel like they're the kind of person that I could tell if I was having a bad day, then that's not going to work. You need to be able to tell them, but obviously, like you said, it's coach dependent. They'll have a different response. They'll be like, suck it up, or they'll be like, oh, babe. So depends what works for you.
So what's the end goal for you? You're competing the second time.
For you.
Oh, hang on, I think I had a bit of lag then. So you're competing for the second time.
Yeah.
You look in phenomenal shape. Where are you going with competing?
Well, for me, I just want to get bigger, and whatever that means will be. Like, I'm not a forward thinker in that sense. I'm quite a chill person, really. It's been weird being so agitated on prep, because I'm so chilled usually. Like, all I'll do once I've stepped off stage this year is like just continue to train really hard and see what. I don't want to compete next year. I know that much. I'm not one of these people who. That's why I took a year last year, who just wants to step on stage every single year. I want to come back with a lot more muscle each time, and you can, like, obviously, depending on how hard you work, of course you can come back with a lot more muscle than a year after, but I want even more than that. I want the most I could possibly get, and for me to do that as a natural athlete, I need to spend some time off stage, and for me that's at least a year. And also, I have a lot of other interests, so I like to go traveling and things and try different cuisines, and I speak a few different languages and things like that, so I like to travel around, and we haven't been able to travel. So for me, next year I want to be able to be in like a long off season and not thinking about being lean or thinking about what I bloody look like, and just casually building muscle on the side while I'm traveling around and doing other things. And then the year after, let's see where I am. I might still be in bikini, but hopefully not just I'd be like bikini trained or athletic, or I don't even know if I'd go to figure. I'd like to, but if I'm not big enough, I won't, because I don't want to just step on stage and be kind of like a lean figure athlete. Like, if I'm ready for figure, I'll go for it. But equally, so long as I'm stepping on stage, I don't mind where I'm at, so long as it suits my physique. So that's it really. I'm just and like you, I know I'm never going to be a pro or anything like that, simply because I have other interests. Like, I think to be a pro, you need to be bodybuilding or nothing. And I just have other interests as well that I like to pursue.
Yeah. So where are you planning on traveling then?
Oh, I mean, I miss Spain a lot. I love everything about Spain, the language, I speak it, and the food, the people. I'd love to go back there for a bit. I'd love to go to Italy and just sit on a little terrace with a glass of wine. I love all this kind of stuff, like really chilled. Like, I just like Europe, to be fair. I'm not like one of these people that wants to go all over the world particularly. I'm not like particularly interested in Asia but yeah, and I speak German fluently. It's my heart and soul is German mainly. That's my second language. And so I need to go back to Germany, and specifically Berlin, because I bloody love Berlin. It's my favourite city.
Is that because you got family?
Obviously, after No. I just started learning it randomly, like, as I do at school. But I just took to languages like really well, and it was just
Mm,
what I like. I got full marks in my GCSEs and things like that, and I was kind of doing A level while everyone was doing. I was always a step ahead of everyone with languages. I was always really, really good at them.
mm,
Just that's the way my brain works, because language is sort of quite methodical,
mm.
and I just picked them up really well. So yeah, I continued learning German, and that's what I did as my degree. You see, nothing to do with fitness and stuff. I did
Wow.
French and German as a degree, so like naturally, therefore, people are always like, "Wow, do you speak German?" Then I'm like, "No, I did a 4 year degree, but I came out not being able to speak the language."
Yeah.
So
Wow,
yes, I
that's
do speak
crazy.
German and French pretty well. And then Spanish was like I did it at A level as well. Like I did 3 language A levels, and
Yeah.
then sort of continued it through uni as much as I could, and went to live there for a while just to keep it because I like it a lot. But yeah,
Yeah.
languages is like my other. I've got fitness and stuff, but I've also got languages as my main 2 passions, I would say.
Hmm.
So,
Wow. When would you
do you have
ever
anything
move?
else? Do you have a side passion that's nothing to do with fitness?
It's hard really because I do most of it comes around like my friends, so
Yeah,
socializing, but I think the gym and fitness is kind of me because it's given me
yeah.
so much. It sounds really sad. It sounds
No, it doesn't
really
at
sad,
all. It doesn't at all.
but fitness and sport has given me pretty much everything. So
I
when I
agree.
left college, it was always in sport. I was playing basketball as at a high level, and it gave me like it got
Oh,
my
cool.
degree paid for through that. It gave me all my friends, and the only time I've really geared away from sport is when I became a paramedic, which is
Yeah.
something that I've loved, and that has given me so much. But yeah, I'm one of those saddos where, fitness and the gym is kind of my bag, as well as like family and the wife, and we're going to have a kid this year and things. So no doubt everything that I've just been talking about is going to get turned on its head, and the gym is going to be second best once that happens. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Ah, fair.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, when
That's
my
cool though.
So I'll be competing in September. So I've got 2 shows, one on the
Yeah.
5th and one on the 18th. And then the baby comes early November. So it's a very
Right.
close, but it's a good period of time
Yeah.
where I can just say, okay, I've done my shows. Now let's focus on baby. Let's
Baby
get
time.
fat, get the dad bod, and then we'll see
Yeah.
what happens in the new
Yeah.
year.
What shows are you doing?
So I'm doing the UK DFBA, so the UK Drug Free Bodybuilding Association,
Nice.
and then I may be doing the WNBF in
Yeah.
Birmingham.
Both natural federations then.
Yeah,
Is that just because you didn't want to be competing against assisted athletes?
yeah. I mean,
When
I'm
you're a
quite
guy, isn't
realistic.
it? Like guys are going to be massive if they're on stuff, and if you're not, you're
Yeah,
going to be stuck next to them, and you're wasting your time. I
yeah. I
think
mean,
anyway.
there's still going to be a big difference between me and most of the competitors. I think unless there's other people in the same boat, as in first time competitors, I'm realistic that there's going to be people there that are significantly leaner or significantly bigger than me. But I wanted it to be as level a playing field as possible, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right.
What's your
It makes
thoughts
sense.
on competing in kind of non-drug tested federation, even as a female athlete? People using PEDs, steroids, things to assist them getting leaner. It's quite a common thing, and I think the stigma around it is being diminished quite a lot. Um,
Yeah.
you know, Becoming more acceptable. I don't know what your experiences are, what your views on it are.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty chilled. Like as you know, like, we both follow like Josh Bridgman and stuff. Like I find I find it all really interesting, steroid use and things, because you can get massive and it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Let's be honest. And obviously nowadays as well, there's so much more knowledge and research around it, and that the coaches that these guys are being coached by, like they know a lot, and it's all done fair. Like safely within reason. So no one's just blasting anything and not worrying about their health. It's all kind of meticulous and methodical nowadays, and you know, well, it can be. I mean, you can do it fairly safely. You know, like say if you were to get your bloods tested and see that things were going a bit awry and you were going to maybe risk your fertility or something and you were planning on having kids, like you could dial that back down and dial it in. So I think, yeah, like you said, that the stigma's kind of getting reduced now because it is so common, and it's almost kind of like a why not kind of thing. Like, why not do it if it's going to help? And at the end of the day, everyone can do whatever they want to do, so long as they're not affecting anyone else. As long as you're not walking around on trend, like being really aggressive or something, you know, and affecting other people. So long as you're just in your own world doing your own thing, like literally doesn't bother me at all. Obviously, the only weird thing would be if you were claiming to be natural when you're not. Like that's, you know, I think there's a problem that a lot of females especially don't understand, that other females are on stuff and they aspire to these physiques that they see on Instagram. And I can look at someone and instantly know if they're on stuff, whereas most other women have they don't understand that women take steroids. They think it's a man thing. And so they see these bodies. Like I'll get clients and they'll be like goals and tag me in something, and I look at the physique and I'm like, you'll never get there because you won't be taking what she's on. So I think there still needs to be more like realization that it's becoming very popular within females now as well. And not to aspire to these physiques that are like unbelievable but unnaturally attained, and therefore nothing to aspire to unless you're willing to hop on the gear as well.
I'm exactly the same as you. I mean, you know, from a paramedic point of view as well, from like the health concerns, I mean, 99% of the patients that I go to have ridiculously poor health, not through steroid use, but through smoking, alcohol, obesity. You know, that's one of my biggest passions is, you know, you could have someone on steroids over here that is so meticulous with their nutrition and their lifestyle that they are significantly healthier than this person over here that's obese. So, you know, if you've got a vice, which is, and it might not even be a vice, you know, you take steroids in a responsible way and you're not, you know, suggesting to people that they take huge dosages of things, well, okay, you're still probably a lot healthier than 99% of the population out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, I think the only, like you said, the only time it becomes a dangerous thing is when you get the quote unquote fake natties, you know, them that are out there, they're selling products, take this, do this, and you'll get this physique. And you're like, are you kidding me? You know, you earn money off your physique, you are probably on gear.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So what challenges have you had? So we've spoken in the past, you know, you've had, you know, certain like demons, certain challenges, and everyone's had them in the fitness industry. I know I do as well, but I think it's more and more these days people are willing to talk about it and raise awareness around certain things. And for me personally, I think that's definitely the way to go, because, you know, everyone has shit times, everyone has those dark times. I'm just wondering what you'd be willing to share about your kind of experiences in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would always say when you see someone who trains kind of how I train, or just other bodybuilders, there's usually something that's gone on there in their past. But for me to train the way I do, I say, for example, the last few sessions I've had, it is thinking about shit times that get you through it. AJ Morris, he's like, you know who AJ Morris is, big name in the industry. Like he's released his new prep series on YouTube, and he did a really goosebump inducing video, like just the one that I've just watched, like the latest one. And he talked about it, when someone asked him like, how do you get through your top sets? What is it that gets you through your top sets? And he said like, yeah, thinking about bad things. And that's what I had to do on my last big leg session, this prep. I had to literally play songs that reminded me of shit times. So yeah, like I think, for example, the first like shit time I probably really remember was being 16, and I think that was the first time I've experienced depression when I was 16, and it was just a really shit time. But yeah, I've kind of had quite a few ups and downs. Like when I get down for whatever reason, it'll be like very down, if you know what I mean. So it's not just a bad few weeks. It'll be, yeah, like probably when I was 16, throughout uni as well, and also the last time was probably the week that I signed up to a PT course, was probably the lowest I've ever felt. And I signed up to a PT course on a whim because I was feeling like really beyond depressed, to be honest. And I didn't know what else to do, and I just randomly decided to sign up to a PT course. But yeah, I suppose mental health has been a struggle over the years, just due to various things that have happened to me, and probably also just due to the way my brain's wired as well, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So yeah, training really, really helps.
Have you noticed a difference in the way that people perceive, or like how you can open up about mental health in the last, I don't know, decade, the last 10 years? From my experiences, again, back in when I was full-time in the ambulance service, the awareness of PTSD and the awareness of, coping with seeing difficult things, that has been raised dramatically, and there's a lot more support out there, and even, with clients, I think most of my clients that I work with get into or want to start training nutrition for an element of mental health relief. For whatever reason it might be, they've had a breakup and they've been depressed, or they're obese and they want to get healthier in mind and body. So what do you think's changed in the last 10 years, or if you think it has changed at all?
100%. I mean, literally yesterday I was listening to a podcast. It's called The Happy Place. It's Fern Cotton that does the podcast. And she had James Arthur on there, and bloody hell, like when he won the X Factor, that was 10 years ago, because I was in sixth form then. Because I remember, because I went to go and see him the day that he won it. Yeah. But at the time, like, he was this, like, because he's from where I'm from, that's why I went to see him, like Middlesbrough, kind of, I'm from Darlington, so it was easy for me to hop on a train and just pop and see him. Like, he was signing CDs and stuff. But he talked about in the podcast how it was, especially, like, I can't speak for any other region, but being from the northeast, it was very much like this masculine, you get on with it, man up kind of mentality. And for someone like James Arthur, who's kind of come from there, and he had all that shit on the news when there was some racist comments that he'd made when he was younger or something on Twitter, and he kind of crashed in terms of his career and things. But I mean, even when he was on the show, it was quite evident that he'd been through a lot growing up, a lot of like really messed up childhood, like in foster care and stuff. So he's obviously got a lot of issues, and he suffers badly with anxiety. But for someone like him to be just openly chatting about that on a podcast, it was quite, I would recommend anyone to listen to this podcast, by the way, if you are struggling. But it was really just like, wow, the world's changed, because James Arthur to be talking really openly about his anxiety and how he deals with his anxiety. And for me as well, I'm the same, like that mentality that I grew up with of keeping things to myself. And I still pretty much do. Like, I hate being a burden. Like, I hate telling my friends when I'm feeling down. I'm not that friend. I'm never the one that says, like, I'm having a shit time. I always just get myself out of it. But I generally get myself out of it because I train. So I can go to the gym and I can put all my emotions into a session. So yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a talker, to be quite honest. It's still, like, quite a weird thing for me. But definitely it's getting better, and like things that have happened in my past. So like basically I was raped when I was younger, and I would never have said that before. I kept it to myself, and that happened at uni basically. And because I chose to report, well, weirdly enough, it happened to me twice, which is just an absolute fuck. How does that happen to someone twice in the space of 6 months? So I think the second time it happened, I was kind of like, right, I can't. The first time I was kind of denying it, moving on. I just started uni, it happened in my freshers week kind of thing. Second time it happened, I was like, no, I need to report this, But then what I didn't realize was me reporting that would then be the next 20 months of my life waiting for it to get to court. So like a lot of my time of uni was spent stressing over this, like what had happened, and just waiting for like decisions like from the CPS. And it was honestly the worst time of my life, pretty much, just waiting on this. You know, I spent the whole time feeling like a victim and just being really down, and I was in a very dark place mentally, kind of thing. So for me to just kind of say that now, and like I would never have said it before, I felt like so much shame attached to it. Whereas now I'm like, hell no, like I got through that shit. Like it's not a shameful thing to admit, but if I don't like talking about it because I find it very triggering for other people. Like sometimes I'll hear the R word and it'll trigger something in me without even, like once, like maybe 12 months ago, there was a story about it on BBC News, and I just like started crying randomly. So you never know when it's going to trigger you, but that's probably because I refused counselling at the time. I wasn't in the mood for it, and uni were like, you need counselling, like you're going to court, like you need to talk about this, and I wasn't ready to talk about it, so I've never really spoken about it properly. So like I would only ever speak about it if it was to help someone else, if that makes sense. But I don't like to say it out loud all the time because I think it's very triggering. And for somewhere like for me to mention it on Instagram, for example, it's not appropriate because if someone saw that post, it could spoil their whole day. And I don't want to be that person that writes about it and makes other people feel really triggered. But yeah, like I say, the more that things like this are spoken about, the less women will feel shame attached to it and be less likely to speak up about it and things.
And that's exactly it, because
so
you know,
yeah,
you say,
I'm getting there, but
yeah, I
it's still hard.
mean, that's fucking mental. You know, I didn't even know, that's fucking crazy. But you know, you talk about it, you don't want to speak about it because it might give someone a bad day, but at the same time, speaking about it might give someone a bit of release as well, because like you said, it's, you know, you being somebody that you would perceive as being such a, you know, mentally strong individual, and you are, but you know, if someone sees you talking about things like that, you know, they might, like you said, it might give them the opportunity to have the confidence to speak about it themselves. And so instead of you talking about it might give someone a bad day, it might actually give them the best day of their life.
Yeah,
which
I think it's
is
about
crazy.
getting it right. Like the approach that I would, if I ever mentioned it, it would have to be the right approach. You know,
Yeah.
I would never just randomly throw it out there for someone to have to see it or think about
So
it.
apart from training, what helped you get through that shit time?
My focus on my degree, to be fair, as well. Like I was really convinced, like determined to get a first, even though I had all these things. So like I say, the second time it happened, I reported it. 2 weeks later, I then cycled in front of a car. It was like generally accidental. I kind of felt how I feel now in terms of like I was out of my own head. I wasn't really thinking, and I just kept cycling. And funnily enough, a car hit me because I just kept cycling, and I went across a T junction. So I got hit by a car. So I was kind of mentally and physically fucked then, and I had all these exams coming up 2 weeks later, and I had to say to my uni, like, because they knew what was going on, and with the police and everything, I had to sort of say, like, I've just been hit by a car, so I'm not going to be able to submit my final essays. And this was a final second year. But at the same time, you know, there was so much support there at uni at the time. Actually, when I graduated, it was the uni of Leeds. They were like #1 uni in the UK, and I think a lot of that was down to their pastoral care. And I was thinking, damn right, they were so good with me. So yeah, but I was focused on my degree. I was like, I'm gonna get a bloody first if it kills me. And I did, by the way, like by the skin of my teeth, like by 1 mark. I was like, oh my Jesus Christ, probably like the proudest moment of my life when I got my results. That, like, so having that to focus on, probably the degree I did as well, because I actually went on a year abroad. So this happened in like the February, and then I went on my year abroad in the April. So I had to move abroad. So I had a whole year away from Leeds and away from where it happened, and that helped, just being in a different environment. It was a temporary escape. And my friends, I suppose, as well, even though a lot of them didn't know about it. Just having them there, like just being able to be normal and just crack on, really. Like the friends that I've made at uni are like friends that I've still got now that are really special to me, and they really know me because they've known me since before I was kind of in the whole fitness world and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it's just mind-boggling, really. But at least you had those strategies in place. I mean, people could quite easily have just given up completely and said, "Fuck this," you know. I'm going to turn to the booze. I'm going to turn to drugs. I'm going to turn to fucking whatever it might be. And not to people like that, but I talk about you've got downward spirals or you've got uphill climbs, and depending on which strategy you take, it can make things worse or it can make things way fucking better. And it's just, oh God, do you have the support in place? Do you have the mentality to manage it, really?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, there was definitely a lot of destructive behaviors and downward spirals along the way. I'm talking about really a period of about 4 years. So from me being 19 to 23 was a bad few years for my mental health and kind of dealing with all this. And yeah, so as I got to a point where I was 23 and I finished uni and I'd pressurized myself into getting a normal, like a job to do with my degree, basically. I was like, it needs to be with German, you know? So I went into this awful job, and the managing director was sexually abusing me. I was like, "Are you joking? Are you joking?" The third, like, what is wrong with me? I must be the most disgusting, horrible person because this is like the third time now. And he like just little things like he would make comments, but then he like one day he like pulled my dress down and like touched me. And honestly, I was like, "Is this actually a joke? Like, am I meant to be on this planet? Because things keep happening to me and it's not." And then it was literally a case of I either end it because I'm sick of life's shit, I'm bored, or I just signed up to a PT course and see what the fuck happens. And here we are today. It was
And
literally
look where you
like
are.
when I signed
Look
up
where
to be
you
a
are
PT.
now.
When I signed up to be a PT, it was literally out of pure desperation. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I was just like, the only thing I enjoy is training. And my dad had always said to me, like, you'd make a great counselor, because I just do like helping people to feel better. So like I thought the two combined kind of made sense. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I'll just do a PT. I don't even know if I want to be a PT. Like I got thrown into Pure Gym because the course I did kind of sent my CV out to a few different gyms. I don't know what I'd have done if they hadn't sent my CV out, because Pure Gym contacted me the week that I finished my course. And I happened to go in and I really actually vibed it. Like the manager was so nice, and I just was like, yeah, let's give it a go, you know. So sometimes you just have to almost reach a point of desperation, I think, where it's like you literally go into that fight or flight mode, do or die. And like that was where I got to, really. I was at that point where I was like, I can't keep living, really, because I'm not enjoying my life. I hate life. Life treats me so badly. And then I just thought, well, I'll just try something completely new and see what the hell happens. And I was forced into a situation where I felt so desperate that it didn't matter anymore. Like I spent like 3-4 grand on a PT course without even thinking it through, and just went for it. And then, like I say, like things just fell into place after that, really. Like the Pure Gym thing came to me, I didn't approach it. So I'm quite a strong believer in like everything happens for a reason, as cliche as
Yeah.
that sounds. I
Yeah.
do
No,
like I
I
like
agree,
thinking
mate.
that way.
I think, things in our life, it makes you, it guides you in, I don't think anything's predetermined. The things that happen now will affect what happens then. So, it could be that might have been the best
Yeah.
thing. It sounds really bad. Please take this the right way. Obviously it's an horrific thing, but that has helped you become the person that you are now. And God forbid that it happens to anyone
Yeah.
else. But tough times make tough people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, someone said to me the other day, they said, I wish I'd been through the pain that you've been through because I'd be able to train as hard. And I was like, trust me, you don't. But equally, like, I know what you mean. Like, like I say, I'm such a naturally shy person, like when I was younger and stuff, and I wouldn't be the way I am today. But because of things that happened, over the years, I just developed a fuck it mentality. Like because I got to that point of being like, I don't even want to be alive anymore. It's like, well, now that I am alive every day, I'm gonna just be present and just be me and not worry about anyone else. And yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely I wouldn't be feeling how I am nowadays if I hadn't been through those things. So not
And
that
do
I
you,
wish pain on anyone,
oh
but
no. I mean, do you feel like that has helped you
sort of helped
become,
me to, yeah,
oh,
be
hang
who I
on.
am.
Do you feel like that's helped you become more kind of, what's the word, more understanding of your clients, as those experiences helped you understand what clients are going through sometimes and help them manage those things?
Yes, absolutely. Especially with mental health, like I think it's such a big factor in the overall picture that maybe not everyone understands, and you can't understand it necessarily if you haven't felt it yourself. You can only try and empathize, but when
Hmm.
you've actually experienced those feelings of depression or anxiety, or people talk about suicidal depression, like they talk about that feeling, and it's like I know exactly how that feels. Like depression is so much more than just feeling sad. You can't control it. You just feel so down and you wish you didn't, but you can't not. So like if maybe someone else might think the client's being pathetic or something, or just, oh, just man up, or just cheer up or something. But when you've got that understanding there, it makes all the difference. I really genuinely kind of empathize with them, and so long as they're honest with me,
Mm.
some people are really embarrassed still to talk about it, and I say honestly, trust me. And as soon as I say, oh, actually, no, I've had this, or I've been depressed, or then they feel a lot less judged,
Mm.
and so they're able to say, oh, go on then, yeah, I am anxious, and I'm like, it's fine,
Yeah.
it's fine, it's a lot more common than you'd think.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not alone, and you can
Yeah.
tell me, and I'll actually understand.
And
So
I
yeah, it's
feel
definitely
so
helped.
when clients open up to me about it, it's quite nice, because just them talking to you about it, a lot. I don't know if you get this, but I get it where clients say, "Oh, this isn't your job. You don't need to listen to me
Yeah,
doing that." I was like, "Well, actually, no,
just oh, I'm
because."
so sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, no, no. If you talking to me helps you improve your nutrition or improve the way that you train, then it is my job. And ultimately, all I'm doing is fucking listening. I might not be able to give you
Yeah,
the best advice, but all I'm doing is listening to your woes. I don't know. I don't care whether your fellas bloody cheated on you, or you've fell on hard times financially, or the kids are pissing you off, but just you talking to me will give you a better day sometimes. So crack on.
absolutely. And they think that they say like, I'm sorry for, I don't know, interrupting you or something. And I'm like, you should be more sorry if you're not honest with me. If I've
Mm,
not understood why you've like fucked up your diet this week, and I just think that you're not bothered or you're lazy, I'd rather know that you've had a really shit time, or or you don't even have to go into details, but if you just say stuff's happened this week, Emily, and I've not had the best week. I'm really like, I haven't managed to stick to stuff, but then I'm going to be a lot more able to help. So it's always frustrating. Say if 3 weeks down the line they say, "Oh, I was having a shit time back then." Why didn't you tell me? Because I could have helped you then. Now the
yeah,
fuck up's done for 3 weeks, and I feel worse off that you've not been felt comfortable to be honest with me. I feel
yeah,
like I've not done my job properly. I failed. So not you haven't failed. I have failed. So
yeah.
it's actually the opposite.
The worst time for me is when and you'll know, when a client doesn't do the check-ins, or when a client goes off the radar for a week, or
Yeah.
that I mean, I use like that clients will give daily comments and weekly roundups. I know if they've not put anything in those comments and they just put in the basic information, something's going fucking wrong.
Yes,
And I would
absolutely.
say it's if it's something's fucking up, let me know early in the week, because then you can nip it in the bud. It might be a quick fix. It might just be a case of having a chat with someone, and then you can have a good rest of the week rather than fucking up 2 weeks worth of
Right.
progress.
Absolutely. Like message me in the morning and tell me that you're feeling shit today, and I'll give you a little pep talk, and then we can crack on.
Yeah,
But if you just
yeah,
feel shit and then have a shit day and don't do your workout, then you've messed the day. So
yeah.
don't think that you're wasting my time by telling me. You're actually putting much good use of my time, because I'm able to do my job. I'm able
Mm,
to get you on track, and then we're both able to have a good week, rather than you like having a shit week and missing your check-in, all because you just
absolutely.
thought that you're wasting my time now by me having to chase you and wonder why I haven't checked in. I'd rather you
Yeah,
told me you're feeling shit and we could do something about it. So yeah,
yeah.
agree.
So I always say to my clients is, you get out of coaching what you put into it, and this is so you can use this but you've got to put my name at the bottom. You've got to tag me in this if you ever use this. Coaching is like building a house. The house is your physique and you're the builder. I'm the site foreman as the coach. So I'm going to be there to make sure that you've got the materials, you don't fuck up the walls, you don't electrocute yourself along the way, but you're the one building the fucking house. So make sure you put the fucking work in, because I'm not going to build it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I like clients to be ready to work with me. Like, I'm not going to babysit you. You know,
yeah,
you've got to be ready to commit to coaching. It's not, you can just pay me if you want, but you've wasted your money. Like, you need to be ready. You know,
yeah.
I'm not here to force anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Emily, I am going to ask everyone that comes on here the same question. What are your 3 fitness fads that infuriate you as a professional in the industry?
Anything to do with diet shakes or diet supplementation, meal replacement. That would be 1. 2, fad. I'm trying to think of fads that they might have. This is me being a few days out as well, by the way.
I'm going to give you one of mine.
Are there any fads? Keto's a fad, isn't it? I don't like keto. I love carbs.
Yeah. Donkey kickbacks.
Keto. Oh, donkey anything kickbacks. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything like this booty building stuff. No, that's a fad. Yeah, definitely that. So we'll say that with keto.
Yeah.
And what was the first one I said?
Like shakes. What's your favorite shakes? Yeah. Oh my god.
Meal replacement is such a bad. You see it on like some diet ways and supermarkets and stuff, and I'm like, no, because people will eat this, and it's like 200 calories and a meal. That's so bad.
My biggest bugbear at the minute is when you see the new 800 calorie diet for diabetes. I think it's called the Newcastle diet. People are put on these super low calorie diets. They reverse the diabetes, and then they think that's a normal way to be.
God, I don't know how they do it. I'm not even eating that low, and I feel like.
So what are you on at the minute then? What calories are you on, or what have you been on in the run up to your peak week and your digging phase?
Well, I don't get a calorie like breakdown, and I wouldn't want one. I think it's mentally quite difficult knowing what calories you're on sometimes, but I equally like to work it out. So I think maybe a few weeks ago I got to about 1,400, so I'm probably on about close to 1,000 now. But like I said, I haven't plugged it in and worked out for a while because I don't need to know anymore.
Yeah. And I think before people start commenting saying, oh, that's too low. Now I get it all the time. And people say, that's too low. You shouldn't be eating. And people don't realize that we're taking things to extremes. This isn't you're not eating normal. This all year round.
No. What I'm doing now is completely unhealthy. I have made myself ill at the end of the day. So it's like, but yeah, I'm just more of a client of give me a food plan and I'll eat exactly what you tell me to eat, but I don't want to know what it is like in terms of quantities and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I was working out of pure interest just because I was like, fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating to compare to my last prep and see how much more I'm having.
Yeah.
But realistically at the moment, like I've come in very lean, and it's because I've been on a combination of quite low calories with rather high cardio compared to some. So it's like I've been putting the damn work in. You know what I mean? Like I've come in lean for a reason, and it has been that combination of low calories and 75 minutes of cardio is not exactly low, is it? It's pretty up there with what you consider as like a difficult prep. Like some people never get to like over an hour and stuff, do they? But
and everyone's different.
45 minutes, and you're like, everyone's different, exactly.
Yeah,
you literally can't compare your rep to someone else's or think that you're this or you're that, or you must be fat, or this kind of thing. It's just whatever ends up working for you. And for me, it's had to be like just pushing for the extra cardio, really. And then in the last couple of weeks, it's been like, let's just bring the food right down just to really dial it in.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And it's only for a few weeks. I have to tell this to my friends a lot though. Like the rest of the time, it was just like a fairly normal diet. Like until about 10-ish weeks out, maybe I was on like 2,000 calories still, like a normal diet, normal amount of cardio and stuff. But then when you want to bring that stage look, it's simply going to have to be healthy.
Yeah. And this is what I tell people.
Too much cardio.
Yeah. This is what I tell people all the time, because it's quite interesting you say that, because for the vast majority since January, so I've been, this is the 6th month of reducing my body fat down, because I was very fat before.
Me too.
Pardon?
Me too. That's fat.
Yeah. And I've been on the same amount of calories as you, and I'm probably twice the size as you.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how different people are. And this is what people in the fitness industry on social media, I don't think they get. They say that you should be eating this based on this calorie calculator, but actually you have to look at the individual. So I don't know what you do, but when people message me on TikTok or Instagram say, oh, how many calories should I eat in? I was like, I just want to shoot myself in the head, because it will take me hours to figure it out, and it'll probably take me weeks to figure it out, because I need to know what that person's like as an individual.
Absolutely. You have to like data collect sometimes in the first few weeks. Like literally the first 4 weeks of my prep, I didn't lose weight, I gained it. Yeah. So it's like, so you can set someone on a certain amount of calories and it might not always be bang on anyway, because you don't know that individual. You've just got data to work with really at that point.
Yeah.
And then I have to tell people like this first few weeks is us experimenting and seeing how your body responds. So don't get stressed about the scales if they're not moving.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just reduce your food every week just because you haven't lost weight in the first 2 weeks. I've got other options to explore, and your body's going to adapt slowly. So don't be impatient.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. So if you had someone come to you and you said, and they was like, okay, Emily, my goal is this. I want to lose body fat. I want to do it with calories. I want to do it with macros. What approach would you take with your clients on who came to you with those kind of goals and those kind of methods that they wanted to use?
Well, if someone came to me and they were already comfortable with macros and they were talking about macros, and that I'd be more than happy to get them on like a tracking basis, because I don't like giving plans out to people, like set food plans. I just don't. I find it very restrictive. Obviously, I'm doing it at the moment for a specific goal, but for anybody else, it's like, you come to me for coaching. So how much can we learn from you tracking? A hell of a lot. You're going to learn so much from tracking your food every day, even though it's boring and meticulous at first. You're going to learn so much. So you're going to get something out of this coaching. You can ask me anytime you want, like, oh, can I have this instead of that? And then I'm going to tell you yes or no and why, and you're going to learn. And B, with the restriction thing, you're going to have flexibility. You're going to be able to plan that meal on the weekend with your family, or if you're a mum, you're going to be able to eat with your kids and enjoy yourself. So there's two main reasons why I don't like giving out food plans. The lack of learning and the lack of flexibility. So unless someone's really just like, nope, I've got 12 weeks to nail this, I'm getting married, and I just get me on a bloody diet, and I haven't got time to figure out the macros, I don't know what they mean, and just get me on a plan and tell me what to eat. Unless they said that specifically and they had a goal, and it was like, well, in order for me to get you to that goal, to be fair, I agree that you just need to follow a plan, and if you're willing to stick to that plan and you're not worried about it and it's not going to affect you mentally or ruin your relationship with food, then I'll absolutely give you a plan and stick to it to the T, and you'll get the results. But it's funny when you've got all these other coaches getting clients results, and it's like, anyone can get you results if they give you a plan and you follow it. It's not difficult. That's not really results, is it? You haven't changed their life. You've just temporarily made them look better, but they'll literally go back to their old ways when they finish the coaching.
Yeah.
So my approach is primarily getting people to track and learn about their nutrition. But like I said, in like bespoke circumstances, I'll give out a set food plan, but only when I've had that conversation and I feel like they're the right fit to be following a food plan.
Yeah. And I definitely, 100%. It's almost like you've come out the Apex Fitness Coaching PT Academy, because that's exactly the approach I take with clients. And I don't know if you've seen or heard of any horror stories, but people, hopefully people that are watching this from my old town of Mansfield, I live in Hampshire at the minute, they will 100% know who I'm talking about without naming names when I tell you this story. You all will fucking know who this person is. But you get coaches like yourself who are taking that approach where you want to educate people, and they might not get the quickest results, but they're going to be healthier and they're going to get the best results long term. It's not going to be a 4-week shred. It's not going to be a 2-week to abs. But there was a quite a famous PT in my local area, and he literally put everyone on 1,000 calories. The approach was just eat the bare minimum and you will get amazing results. And the amount of clients that I got come to me because they'd done that and they'd realized that it was just fucking ridiculous. Oh, is Emily gone?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Emily has just gone.
Yeah.
Oh no, Emily's gone. Or hopefully she comes back in. Let me just pause this. Boom. We are back. Technical difficulties. We've persevered. Where did we get to?
You were telling me about the PT in your local area, giving people a 1,000-calorie diet.
Yeah, so it was quite a famous 4-week shred program where it was just, and a lot of my clients send me photos of the Facebook group, and it was just like people saying, "Oh, I've not eaten today," and he's like, "Oh, well done. You'll get amazing results. Well done." I was like, what the fuck is people like? You'll get some people that will know that that's bullshit, but then there are some people who just see the scale weight coming down and they'll be like, this is fucking working, this is amazing.
Yeah. It's like those shakes, isn't it? People are like, they work, and it's like, it's just low calories. Yeah. You're just in a deficit.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, what have you noticed is like a trend? So in the last year or so, I don't know, are you on TikTok?
No, couldn't cope. I don't think I'd buy
it's amazing.
TikTok.
It's absolutely amazing. So addictive.
That's the problem.
Yeah. What have you noticed as like the thing that people are really like, they're really focusing on this specific thing, and it's just so ridiculous but people are still buying into it, like your Juice Pluses and your Herbalife and Supernova, all these fat loss supplements.
Yeah, I don't know what people are buying into. I suppose I don't follow these type of people. I try and keep my head like away from it all, if that makes sense. Is there
You're doing the
anything
best thing.
Yeah, I don't really see all this kind of stuff, to be honest, anymore, that I maybe used to. What is there something I'm missing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you want a good time, then flies in here. If you want a good time, go on TikTok and just start putting content out there, because the amount of idiots that reply, it's amazing. So I went on TikTok, and actually TikTok's done me a massive favor because it's a massive audience.
Okay.
So for instance, Instagram will only people that are searching for you or already friends will see your content.
Yeah.
Whereas TikTok pushes your content to anyone that might be interested.
Right, okay.
So, TikTok, I've got 26,000 followers, whereas Instagram, I've got 2,500.
Yeah.
So I'll put like a video on, I'll talk about calorie deficit and, how you can use calories to manipulate your weight and muscle gain, fat loss. And then someone will come up saying, "Oh, it's all about low carb," or, "Oh no, that's ridiculous. I've got this health condition, that doesn't work." And it's just an amazing time. If you want to entertain yourself for a couple of hours, it's fucking brilliant.
Do you tend to repurpose your content then? So if you post on Instagram, you'll post the same thing to TikTok, or is it quite different?
Oh yeah, it's different. So how you get reels on Instagram?
Yeah.
So it's reels on TikTok. So it's not photos, and it is fun. Have a look at my TikTok, and I'm very abrasive on it, even more so than on Instagram. So it's pretty, yeah, it's funny sometimes.
I've got something in my throat now. Oh, continue. You talk and I'll cough.
Well, what I was going to say is we're about an hour and a half in now, and I know you need to
I'm thirsty, that's why.
Get all glammed up, ready for your show. So let's, if you want to just tell everyone where they can find you, where they can watch your progress, because I'm going to be watching your posts getting run up to show day. So where can people follow you? Where can people find you? And how can they find out how you did on show day?
Yeah, I guess like my Instagram is probably the main one. So it's under emilyjane.personal training. So most people assume I'm called Emily Jane, but it's actually Emily Bagshaw.
Yeah.
Which is, if you find me on YouTube, it's through my actual surname, Emily Bagshaw. So I have a smallish YouTube channel. I just document my prep on there. But yeah, they're the main, I would say, like DM me on Instagram, or you can watch my YouTube channel if you like. But yeah, that's all I do in terms of socials. Otherwise, you'd have to drop me an email or something. But who does that?
Well, I'll be doing, I'll be putting all of Emily's social media and tags in the comments. So this is hopefully going to go out on YouTube, and well, it will be going out on YouTube, and it'll also be going out on all your iTunes and Spotify and things like that. Emily, this has been absolutely fucking amazing. Thank you for sharing all your experiences, and good bits, bad bits. I'm sure there's someone out there that hopefully someone's enjoyed it, and someone gets something from it. And mate, you're absolutely killing your prep. No doubt you're going to smash it on Sunday.
Hopefully. Keep you updated.
Amazing. So thank you very much, and have a good one.
Have a good day.